Context has not been checked.
This 6-piece gift is yours with any $15 Ultimate 2 purchase at JCPenney.
Big Ten powers collide when Wisconsin heads to Ohio State for a battle with the Buckeyes or other regional action. Saturday on ABC's College Football.
Have you ever wanted someone so badly you couldn't see the forest for the trees?
I'm not going to destroy you like I do everyone.
An all-new Second Noah, ABC Saturday.
In an act of sudden terror.
Where's the bus driver?
I'm in charge.
No, I'm in charge now.
Her passengers became his hostages.
We have a code red. Hijacking in progress.
Her courage became her only defense.
His friends wanted to believe in his innocence, and so did his lawyers. But there was powerful court testimony to come, and it raised in Kardashian's mind terrible doubts, although at first he had none. Once Simpson was arrested, his defense team took over. What was your role? What were you?
If anything, I was the liaison between the attorneys and O.J. Whenever it was bad news, I had to tell O.J. the bad news.
Thankless job.
Thankless job, very much so.
Did you make any money from all those weeks and months?
No, I got paid a little bit in the beginning.
Who made the most money?
Robert Shapiro.
How much did he make?
Our deal with him was $1 million to $100,000 a month.
Has he gotten paid?
Not all of it.
Mr. Kardashian, you sat in that courtroom as a lawyer. Now you're talking about things that you discussed with O.J. Simpson. Doesn't this violate your attorney-client privilege?
Barbara, I'm on the witness list for the civil trial, and I think that's something that the court will have to determine at that time.
Are you sharing any of the profits, if there are any, from this book?
I don't like discussing my financial situation.
You saw O.J. Simpson almost every single day. He wanted someone with him all the time. At first it was you, and after a while, enough already. And so, what did you do?
I had an assistant of mine, Nicole Pulvers, who was an attorney, and we had her sit with him all day, every day.
She was paid to go and keep him company?
Yes.
That's rather spoiled of Mr. Simpson, is it not?
Very.
In the book, even before the trial started, you say that Robert Shapiro said to you, "This is how I think the murders may have been committed." What did he say?
Mr. Shapiro told me one day that he thinks O.J. went over there and he was just going to poke her tires, and she caught him, and that's when the murders took place. And I was astounded. Here is our lead trial attorney giving me this theory of guilt. And I said, I don't want to hear theories of guilt.
Do you think Robert Shapiro thought that O.J. Simpson was guilty?
Yes.
Again and again, you say that Robert Shapiro wanted Simpson to plea bargain.
I overheard Mr. Shapiro at one point in the courtroom during a break say to Mr. Simpson, we should plea bargain, you would get 12 years or whatever it was, and Robert Kardashian would get so much time as an accessory. Well, Barbara, my jaw dropped.
Why would you have been an accessory, for hiding the knife
I have
or
no
something?
idea.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I was astounded, and I was shaking. I was so mad, so upset. Where would this even come from? He knew that I knew nothing about any of this.
What did Simpson say when his attorney says, maybe we should plea bargain?
He started yelling at Bob and saying, what are you talking about? I don't ever want to hear this again. I didn't do this.
Robert Shapiro denies this. He says that he may just have mentioned plea bargaining with the lawyers as a kind of what if, where you examine every scenario. Which one is telling the truth, you or Shapiro?
I am.
This is why you wanted Shapiro off the case and wanted Johnny Cochran?
We didn't need our lead attorney having concerns about guilt. Also, Johnny Cochran related better to Mr. Simpson.
And Cochran also knew how to win over the predominantly African-American jury. Lawrence Schiller reveals for the first time that before the jury was brought to see Simpson's Rockingham estate, Cochran, Kardashian, and the rest of the defense team gave Simpson's house a complete makeover.
They went in and they remade that house. As one source told me who was there, the white women came off the walls and the black women came marching in.
You and other members of the defense team rearranged pictures, took away pictures of white women. Paula Barbieri, whose nude picture was next to O.J.'s bed, put in pictures of O.J. with his mother, put a sympathetic poster of a little black girl supposedly starting school that had been in Cochran's office, rearranged all these pictures. Don't you feel that you were manipulating the jury?
I did feel this was manipulative.
And actually, the pictures had been quite glamorous and mostly white.
Previously, yes.
Previously?
Yes.
Wow. One of the things that you write that most disturbed some of the members of the defense team was the DNA evidence, the blood. This really raised doubts.
It affected everybody.
Which ones were certain that O.J. Simpson was innocent? Which ones had doubts and even thought he was guilty?
I think that many of them, maybe the majority of them, had doubts, but they were professionals.
Did Johnny Cochran have doubts about O.J. Simpson's innocence?
He had doubts about O.J. Simpson's stories about the cuts on his fingers. He had doubts about the fact that Simpson could remember almost everything in his life, but couldn't explain when the cuts took place or how.
But the biggest problem was the blood. Simpson's blood at the crime scene. Nicole's blood found on Simpson's sock in his bedroom. Most damaging, Ron Goldman's blood in the Bronco, and the blood of all three found on the glove at Rockingham. How did the DNA, the blood evidence, affect you? Ron Goldman's blood in Simpson's Bronco, Simpson's blood in so many places?
Barbara, that was the most devastating part of the whole trial for me. I wake up in the middle of the night. I'm so conflicted because of that blood evidence. It's very difficult for me.
You had many discussions with A.C. Cowlings about the blood. You and Cowlings, two of Simpson's best friends. And he also expressed doubt, yes?
Yes. If you can imagine two men who have known O.J. I, 25 years, and A.C. grew up with him, knows him much better than I. When we would talk about this blood evidence, we would go all over the board. We would go from innocence, he couldn't have done it, and list all the reasons why. Then we would say, well, but how did the blood get here? Maybe he did, and it was so heart-wrenching, Barbara.
To believe that O.J. Simpson is truly innocent, you have to believe that the LAPD conspired to frame him. Do you believe that?
Obviously, I don't believe the entire LAPD conspired. I believe a few individuals did some things that were not normal.
But not a whole conspiracy?
No, it's impossible.
It has been reported that Simpson knew the night before the jury came in with the verdict that he was going to be acquitted. True?
Absolutely false.
So when O.J. Simpson walked into that courtroom, he did not know whether or not he was going to be found guilty?
He had no idea, and neither did I.
What was your reaction to the verdict?
That morning, I got to the court a little early. O.J. was in his cell, and I prayed with him at that time. And I prayed to God, not that this man be set free, but that thy will be done. Only you know, God, what has happened here.
Orenthal James Simpson, not guilty of the crime of murder in violation of Penal Code Section 187A.
Mr. Kardashian, do you now doubt O.J. Simpson's innocence?
Barbara, if I were on the jury today on this civil trial, because of the reasonable doubt, I would vote not guilty.
That is not what I asked you. I asked you if you yourself doubt O.J. Simpson's innocence.
I have doubts.
Why?
The blood evidence is the biggest thorn in my side. That causes me the greatest problems. So I struggle with the blood evidence.
What is your relationship today with O.J. Simpson?
The relationship is not the same as it once was, nor will it ever be.
Why not?
Because I have doubts.
You will testify at Simpson's civil trial?
If called, I am on the witness list.
Will you say you had doubts?
If called, I'll tell the truth, Barbara.
If you had to do it all over again, would you have stood by your friend?
To endure death threats on my life, to endure death threats on my children's lives, to lose a fiancé, to suffer in my personal business.
Because she was upset about this whole
Because of the trial just took its toll. To have all these things happen to me, I would honestly say no, I would not get involved again.
How do people treat you today?
Not good. People, I guess, think I had something to do with this.
Did Simpson ever say to you, Robert, I appreciate this, I know what you did?